Hello students, last time we are discussing about unit 3 and we have discussed about the application security. So we have discussed about the types of application security where we have discussed the authentication, authorization, encryption, logging and application security testing. So today we will discuss about the information security governance. So, information security governance involves the identification of an organization information assets and developments, documentation and implementation policies, standard procedures and guidelines to ensure CIA, that is confidentiality, integrity and availability. So basically information security governance is a standard framework where the top level of any organization, top level person of any organization, just like director, board member or the partners, though are discussed about the policies and about the next decisions next decision that will be taken by an organization for the beneficial of an organization. So the organization's member, those are involved in information security governance, are the top management level person. So I have already discussed that those persons are any board members or your director or the partners of the company. One more important thing, that those persons are solely accountable. So when any organization or any business, any kind of business uh, organization start working, so first thing they have to make an organizational policy statement. So that organization policy statement define the organization procedures. So what procedure a company will follow, what are the things they have to do for the long term future plans. So that is the most essential part of any any business model or any kind of organization. S- that organization policy should protect the company finances and the reputation of the company by using that master security policy. So how they will do that? They will decide what are the assets and who will govern then assets and how to protect and make them fully resourceful on the basis of their risk. So that is the most important thing while we design or while any company design an organizational policy. So we have discussed what is the security government information security government policy, who will decide that, what are their responsibilities, and next is that information security government governance is very crucial for any business organization. The the accountability or the responsibility of that security governance is to to budgeting and check all the capacity of the new technologies and make them prepare for the worst times or any kind of disasters. If any kind of disaster or any kind of mishappening can happen, so how will the company will overcome from these financial losses or any kind of company reputation so any kind of company reputation damage. So, if we neglect or anyone on the security governance person neglect these things, so it is a very big responsibility for them to do not negligence these area. That means first check the assets, what are the organizational policy, what is the master policy, and how we can use our resources properly, and what are the capabilities of our new technology. So these are the important areas that any board member or any partner or any director who is responsible for these information security governance should be aware for these things. Information security governance help us out to outline the goals and what are the standard of an organization that organization have to achieve. Without any kind of these organization policies, organization procedures cannot be defined ever. So whenever an organization start, they are working in a working module, then these these important points that any top level manager or any top level member of any organization should be take care of. So the next topic is that we have to discuss is risk management security. So before discussing the risk management security, we have to discuss some important point. First is assets. What is assets? Assets are the important thing, that means that important part of any organization. Just take an example. If you are accommodate, if you are if you are the owner of any company, so what are the assets for you? Your resources, person are assets for you. Your machines, that machines you have, you can say machines are computers, I mean to say. So that is assets for you. The data that you have stored, that is asset for you. And I am taking just a simple example for only a single person. So what is the asset for you? Your machine, your computer is an asset. Your software that you are using on that machine, that are the assets. Hardware, in your system, mouse, keyboard, and any webcam or any kind of device that you are using, that is a asset. And the data, it may be the intellectual data, it may be the personal data, or any kind of data, it is asset for you. So next point is, what are the threats? Threats are the constant danger, that is constant danger for your assets are known as the threats. Just take an example. If you have an system, in the system you have data, your personal information, it may be images, it may be videos, or it may be your intellectual data, your notes, or any kind of data, that is your asset. And threats, any kind of attacker or a hacker who wants to steal you who wants to store or steal your data, or it may possible he or she or attacker can damage your data. So it may possible data can be stolen or data can be damaged. So that is threat. Threat, it is not necessary that attack has to be there. Threats means attack can be there. There is a possibility of attack always. That is known as threat. Third thing is vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities are the term where threats become strongest. Imagine if you have data in your system, so you know the assets, you have the threat, someone can steal your data or someone can damage your data. And the vulnerable situation is you left your system or your desktop um, without any password, and in the public premises you have left your system or desktop in the public premises without any password. That is vulnerable situation. If someone encash the vulnerable situation, the threat become an attack. So risk is the intersection point between threat, asset, and vulnerabilities. That portion is known as the risk. So risk management security is very important for any organization. So risk management policy or security work as, first they have to find out what are the assets for their systems. Second thing, check out the all threats. Third, what are the vulnerabilities these threats have? And next is, what are the impact of that threat? Imagine that particular example, you have a system, assets is your data, okay? Threat is someone can steal or destroy your data, and the vulnerable situation is if you left your system in the public premises without any password. So, next thing is, imagine if there is an attack, someone stole or damage your data. What will happen? You will check that, assess that impact. Imagine someone has stolen your data. That means what is the impact after the stolen? First thing, whatever the impact is, I am not going on the exact impact. If you may have backup, that means your impact is very low, but the copyright issue may be there. Okay, so impact, and the next is what is the probability that can happen to threat may success. So what is the probability of attack actually? So that is the risk management important functions, how the risk assessment work. Again, I am repeating, the risk management security involves assets, threats, vulnerabilities. And in the functions, we have to check what are the assets we have, what are the threats, what are the vulnerable situation, what are the impact of that vulnerable situation convert in attack, and what is the possibility or the occurrence of attack. So these are the major important point of the risk management security. Okay, I have already discussed that is a risk is the intersection point between the assets, threats, and vulnerabilities.